watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up first at 6, the nation's leader traveling to New York City today to address the United Nations. A proposed increase in water bills for consumers is pending cabinet approval. And the Central Division summer camp making a positive impact on the nation's youth.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC every day.
The Prime Minister expected to address the United Nations in New York tomorrow. Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Bahamas Tonight, first at 6. Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis left the capital today for those meetings which are being held under the theme Transformation Towards Sustainable and Resilient Societies. The Bahamas will be among 46 countries presenting national plans for sustainable development during the high-level political forum on sustainable development at the United Nations. From the perspective of the Bahamas, that achievement is centered around transforming the inner city. The Prime Minister introduced the plan in Parliament this month. He detailed the proposal as one that would promote the redevelopment of communities through the granting of certain exemptions and fiscal incentives for the renovation and restoration of property and the encouragement of businesses in a designated economic empowerment zone, declaring them tax-free zones. Now, the Prime Minister is expected to address global leaders sometime tomorrow. Meanwhile, management at the Water and Sewerage Corporation seeking an increase in water bills moving forward. It's the first in 20 years. Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson says a proposal is being prepared and will be submitted to Cabinet for approval. He says it's all in an effort to make that utility company more profitable.
The reality is the corporation is unable to meet its bills in the current condition. We haven't had a tariff increase since 1999, given inflation and the cost of the production of RO water and so on. The corporation is hardly staying above water. Given that, we see a need for that. And with the government moving away from overly subsidizing state-owned enterprises, we think that the tariff increase would go a long way to assisting us with our operations.
Mr. Gibson said the move is necessary as the government has cut the subsidy to the utility company by $5 million.
We have been requested by the Ministry of Finance to produce a plan which will speak to the subsidy being totally reduced and or removed over the next few years. That means we have to put ourselves in a position to survive independently. A tariff increase, negotiating better business contracts, streamlining in terms of the corporation, voluntary separation, operational efficiency.
Minister of Works, the Honorable Desmond Bannister, responding to concerns of straw vendors who owe rental fees for their booths at the market. Thousands of dollars have been owed in rent, and Bannister explained what happened to those vendors who didn't pay.
So they weren't put out of the market, even though the regulations, as you now see, almost put us in a position where we ought to put them out of the market. They were not put out. Their booths were locked. There are a few who are no longer in the market. This is an endless task and a thankless task for the chairman to continually be trying to get this $37, $38 a week from a number of vendors who, over the 5 years from 2012 to 2017, got accustomed to not paying. That is unfair to you as Bahamian taxpayers.
Bannister says the straw market has to operate even if vendors don't pay, but he encourages them to keep their commitment.
The straw market is a wonderful example of what a small business could be. You get to pay a tiny rent of less than $40 a week. You get to run your business. You get to deal with your national insurance, have your employee, and you get to make money. And for very, very tiny overhead. And so it's important for all of the vendors to carry out live up to their obligations.
A jury has convicted 26-year-old Jonathan Bethel of killing his 74-year-old grandmother, Vivian Johnson, back in 2013. The 12-member panel took just over an hour to return a unanimous guilty verdict against Bethel, who showed no reaction to the decision. During the trial, prosecutors contended that Bethel fatally stabbed his grandmother 27 times before going on a joyride in her car. He will be sentenced on September 17th. 44-year-old Henry Gay is behind bars awaiting sentencing after a jury convicted him of raping a 17-year-old American visitor on San Salvador 4 years ago. Police say the young girl was at the dock in Coburn Town when she was assaulted. Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson will sentence Gay on September 6. President of the Commercial Fishers Alliance, Adrian LaRota, is calling on the government to implement stiffer penalties to deter persons from fishing illegally in Bahamian waters. LaRota told ZNS News yesterday that the revised Fisheries Regulation Act calls for stiffer penalties to address poaching in this country.
It's still in the discussion stage. It hasn't gone to Parliament yet, so we are encouraging the government to bring it to Parliament as quickly as possible, even if only parts of the legislation could be enacted now. Because quite frankly, our main issue right now is that through the loopholes in the current legislation, foreigners are able to come in and work in the Bahamas fishing industry. Completely illegal, but they're allowed to do it because of a loophole. We need to close those loopholes. And in closing those loopholes, we will automatically stop part of our poaching issue.
LaRota says he is also concerned that illegal nationals living in the Bahamas are feeding information to poachers as to which areas they should tackle at a certain time to dodge RBDF authorities. Additionally, LaRota says stiffer penalties and further confiscation of vessels would put some fear in poachers.
Information is passed to these guys. So listen, the BDF vessel just left. If they're headed to you, they should be to you in X amount of days. That's the kind of network that they have, okay? These are enemies of the state. They mean us no good. They have wiped out their own fishing grounds and they're here to do the same to us. And they tell us this, okay? So while the best efforts may be employed to stop this problem, until we actually get to the root of the problem, we're just putting a Band-Aid on a cankerous sore.
And still to come, our culture on display at Junkanoo World. You're watching the news leader first at 6.
When school ends, BTC summer vacation begins. That means freedom to switch it up and break a few rules.
I have flying over season. When she touch down, she not stop call me. And I nothing for me breed, girl. Me want no feud like a Bob Marley. Me fix them.
Freedom to mix and, of course, mingle. Freedom to go wild and take the fun to a whole new level. Join the BTC Summer Vacation for exclusive rewards, cool prizes, and more.
Okay.
BTC, the bigger, better network.
My name is Dawn Pinder. I work at Great Cliff Chocolate and Cigar Company. I am the inventory manager. I have been a customer of Commonwealth Bank for the past 3 years, March 2015 to be exact. At this time, I have a loan with them. That was the reason why I went to Commonwealth Bank. And I now have my checking account and my savings account with Commonwealth Bank. It was easy, simple. They trusted me. I didn't have any accounts with them and they gave me the loan. I will recommend Commonwealth Bank to my friends. I have actually recommended it to a few of my co-workers here that have had the exact same experience that I've had at Commonwealth Bank. I will definitely say that Commonwealth Bank is the bank for the Bahamian people.
Here comes the lucky guy who won a date with Fanchon to his prom.
KFC got the big meal, freshly handmade every day for real.
Made fresh every day? Now that's a big deal.
Hey, it's a real big deal. Hey, it's a real big deal.
This portion of the news brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking.
July and August are always the busiest months for traveling at the Lynden Pindling International Airport. With that in mind, and to help passengers avoid excessively long lines, Vice President of Marketing and Commercial Development at the Nassau Airport Development Company, Jan Knowles, is encouraging passengers to arrive earlier than usual.
This is a very, very busy travel time. Coming in 3 hours ahead is not unreasonable for you to catch your flight. It gives you that time to easily check in, go through all your formalities, and for you to be able to relax ahead of your flight. You just never know, so it's always better to come early.
Knowles says finding prime parking spots can also pose a challenge during the busy summer travel season. She says there are ample spots at the airport, but timing your arrival can also impact the parking you get for those leaving the island.
Persons, particularly who are traveling domestically, need to understand that the domestic parking lot will typically close very quickly, but there is certainly overflow parking for that area for the domestic parking in the international parking lot. So another reason to come early so that you can park comfortably, get across, and then take your flight.
One sector of the Toastmasters looking to bring more awareness to Bahamian culture, and as Jonathan Benson tells us, they started with a bang.
The Pinnacle Seekers beginning their Cultural Explosion series at Junkanoo World, and spectators got a special treat as 89-year-old John Chippy Chipman performed.
All kinds of designs is inside here. This place is beautiful and everybody enjoying themselves very much tonight. I want to make sure all the young ones learn this because we have the best down here. And everybody who wants good entertainment come to the Bahamas as a visitor and they go back and tell their friends they enjoy themselves so much. All the families them will be coming down. Every day we got 5-6 boats in down, thousands of tourists. I play for the shifts every morning, 7:30 to 10:30. My band play in Paradise Island and Marina 3 nights a week. I can't take no more job. Get somebody else a chance because I highly booked up.
Chipman was joined by his pupil, Quentin Barabbas Woodside, who himself is a cultural icon, having recently been included in the Queen's New Year's honors.
If it wasn't for Mr. John Chippy Chipman here in this country, this culture would have already been finished. Because I got my first drum from Mr. John Chippy Chipman. And this is not easy playing in goatskin and making these drums. The love for this, you have to love it. I see children pass and they want to warm it and hold their nose, but what we have to go through to make these drums is unbelievable.
Even though it's becoming more difficult to make the drums, Chippy and Barabbas still plan to continue their work, and they've found some good friends down south to assist.
Long Island is known for the mutton, and then once you get the meat for the mutton, it's great that we could use the skins to inject into our culture. So you use the whole animal, and essentially the animal lives forever. As we come now on Boxing Day, New Year's Day, and we beat this goat skin drum, the sheep is not only in our belly, but it's in our soul and our spirit.
We had a drought in this country for skins. We had to go to Jamaica to bring hundreds and hundreds of skin to keep our culture alive. Now today, Mr. Gary and many others from Long Island sending skins, and we purchasing hundreds of dollars worth of skin in our country.
Bahamians working together to keep our Bahamian culture alive. Jonathan Benson, ZNS Network News.
Campers of the Central Police Division making a special courtesy call today. Catherine Gomez has more on their visit to Mount Fitzwilliam.
The Royal Bahamas Central Division Annual Summer Camp paid a courtesy call on Governor General, the Most Honorable Dame Marguerite Pindling. The campers were ecstatic to meet the head of state as she encouraged them to be the future leaders for their Bahama land. Sergeant Christina Allen, assistant coordinator at the camp, says she believes in empowering and educating the youth to pursue their dreams.
We are about positive minds,
positive hands, positive lives, positive citizens. We're igniting the dreams of our youths by trying to get them to see other ways to keep themselves positively busy during the summer break. It doesn't matter if you're from Baintown. It doesn't matter if you're from over the hill. You can be what you want to be. So we try to ignite those dreams and passion in the children from a very young age. And that's why even at our camp, we allow 5-year-olds to also come to our camp.
Track and field coach, Officer Burnside, says she is happy to use her talent and skills to help the campers physically and mentally.
Well, track and field has been a sport that I've been doing. I was doing and a part of for the last 23 years. I also went off to school for it, so bringing my talent to the camp has really helped most of the kids because they look up to me. They always come to me for advice. They ask me if they're doing well. So it's good to be a part of their life and influencing them to, run and take the sport seriously.
The youth expressed the profound influence the camp made on their lives.
I'm the facilitator just for the female class. This camp is not only about having fun, it isn't only about cheering or sports, it's also about self-development and growing as a young female. I may be young, but I just want to let them know that although I am young, they should be comfortable enough to talk to me and I can give them any type of guidance that they're needing.
Being in the camp, they named me the captain of the basketball team. So it's really a good role to play, and it also helps me to keep my skills up to par as the summer goes along. It gives me a chance to, use my time better instead of being on the street doing other stuff that I shouldn't be doing.
The camp is very enjoyable. We do many things, and for one, cheerleading is something that I have been a part of, and we also won a cheerleading competition. When I started dancing, my spirits just dropped.
We go on field trips, we get to make crafts, we get hot meals every day. We make hand bracelets, we make candy marshmallows, and just like this, then we have fun.
I love Central Camp! Catherine Gomez, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Catherine. Stay close. Sports with Jonathan Benson is up next. You're watching First at 6, the News Leader.
That portion of the news was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, the leader in personal banking services.
The most important person in my life is my mom because she helped me up when I am down, and she says with God's help, the sky is the limit. Peace and quiet is what I like most about being in Over the Hill. I am Over the Hill.
The proceeding was brought to you courtesy of the Over the Hill project.
We'll be with you through new beginnings and sunset endings, through toil and many tears, through the joys and many fears. For all of life's ever-changing moments, trust J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers for all of your insurance needs. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
When school ends, BTC summer vacation begins. That means freedom to switch it up and break a few rules.
I have flying over season. When she touch down, she not stop call me. And I nothing for me breed, girl. Me want no cute like a Bob Marley.
Freedom to mix and, of course, mingle. Freedom to go wild and take the fun to a whole new level. Join the BTC Summer Vacation for exclusive rewards, cool prizes, and more. Okay. BTC, the bigger, better network.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The Little League Baseball World Series Caribbean Qualifier continuing today in Puerto Rico. It wasn't a good day for the Bahamas as they lost both games of a doubleheader, entering the day undefeated at 3-0. Freedom Farm opened up this morning with a 7-4 loss to Puerto Rico's A team, which is the only unbeaten team left in the tournament. They followed that up with a 10-9 setback to a Curaçao team, which had only one loss heading in. At 3-2, Freedom Farm will close out round-robin play tomorrow against Aruba, which sports a 3-1 record. From the minor league baseball diamond last night, Lucius Fox going 2 for 6, 2 runs batted in, a run scored in Charlotte's 15-4 win over Tampa. Chavez Young 4 for 5, 3 runs scored as Lansing lost to Clinton 9-8. Champ Short going 3 for 4, a home run, 3 runs batted in, 3 runs scored as Binghamton scored a 16-2 win over Portland. As for Jazz Chisholm, he was 5 of 6, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in, and 4 runs scored as King County pounded Dayton by a final of 13-4. Back here at home, the Province Softball Association has doubleheader action tonight. The Johnson Lake Truckers opening up against the Hennessy Panthers. That's followed by the CNS Hitmen and the Chances Mighty Mids. The 23rd Annual Peace on the Streets Basketball Classic tipping off last night. Carlos Reed is the organizer.
About 36 teams that's involved this year, which have grown from the 8 teams that we started 22 years ago. This is our 2nd year doing it down at the Hope Center. We're going to be doing it for the next 5 nights here, and then we take it over to the Kendall Isaac Gymnasium, where we're going to have our family night, which is going to feature the Rover Slam Dunk Contest, the Sunshine Auto 3-point shootout. We're going to have all our championship game, and of course that big celebrity game that everybody is so excited about.
Fight sports jiu-jitsu started here in the Bahamas in December of last year, and from then to now it's come a long way, adding a women's self-defense program.
Focus for how the women can defend themselves against a man attack or against some attack. We don't fight anymore self-defense, how the woman can fight against men, because sometimes the power is very different. But we teach skills that the woman can make a damage in someone who attack her and get out of that bad situation.
That is your first look at sports. Don't go anywhere. First at 6 is back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
You thought it was the talk of the town, but get ready for more.
More energy, more excitement, exhilarating, compelling, informative, educational talk on The Conversation.
I'm Shanique Miller. Pull up a chair with a cup of tea and join me weekdays at 4 on Radio Bahamas, 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, and The Light, 810 AM for The Conversation. I'm excited to have you around the table.
How much can the Bahamas cut its billion-dollar food import bill? What are we really producing to feed ourselves? What are the challenges facing food production in our country? How can you contribute to reducing our food import bill? Find the answers to these questions and much more. Watch Agriculture Now with Carla Palmer, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
Unfortunately, that can be painful.
Yeah, well, you're going to feel some pain if you close down my branch. Look, all my friends work there. We worked our butts off. We took pride in our work. Don't worry. We're careful with all of our packages. Next. If you wanted it to get there tomorrow, then you should have thought about that 2 days ago. We not Santa.
I'm on a fast, and I'm moving fast away from your cookies.
Since when do people turn out cookies?
Something smells good.
Thank you, baby.
I'm talking about those cookies. You smell good, too. Is that cinnamon?
Yes, it is.
Look at my lovely daughter-in-law showing off in the kitchen. He's traveling these succulent morsels. Ooh, my goodness. Tastes like nasty feet.
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
In regional news tonight, the Premier of Nevis and Minister of Finance, Mark Brantley, has expressed deep concern over what he described as a misleading and grossly inaccurate article carried in Britain's Guardian newspaper recently, which he believes is calculated to damage the reputation of Nevis as a reputable and well-regulated international financial center. A new World Bank report is suggesting that on average, Jamaica would need about $121 million annually to cover losses from natural disasters. It is estimated that $67 million would be required to address hurricane damage to public and private buildings. The Cuban government has published new rules relating to self-employment in the communist island, which was allowed in 2011 after being frozen for several years, and now provides employment to almost 600,000 Cubans. As a result of the changes, there are now 123 types of licenses currently available. And that's regional news tonight.
Time now for weather.
In our first look at weather, the tropics is expected to remain quiet at least for the next 5 days as a result of upper level showering and the Sahara dust. And on the home front, some instability will remain over the extreme northwest Bahamas, courtesy of a lingering trough. And outside of our studios, we have pretty nice weather, partly sunny skies with a temperature of 86 degrees, relative humidity 69%. The winds are out of the south at 12 miles per hour. Your barometric pressure 1,019.0 millibars. That is 30.08 inches, and it is steady. That's going to do it for your first look at weather at 6. Stay tuned. More weather is still to come.
Thanks, Basil. And that's a look at news in the Bahamas tonight, first at 6. But don't you move. News from the north is up next.
making inroads in Sunday's fatal hit-and-run accident. We will take a look at the benefits of medical marijuana. And it is Showtime Grand Bahama.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Wolf-Arkeson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, new developments in that hit-and-run accident that claimed the life of a young man early Sunday morning. Until now, the victim's identity and whereabouts of the hit-and-run driver were untold. Late yesterday, the victim's parents released a missing persons report, only to discover a short time later that the accident victim is indeed their son. Our Talia Hall has more.
This is the results of the worst fair a parent ever could want.
The victim is 19-year-old Trey Garvey, the son of well-known activist on Grand Bahama Troy Garvey and his wife Charlene. The news spread quickly throughout the community. It was an emotional scene outside of the Rand Memorial Hospital as family members and friends flooded the parking lot, anxiously waiting for Trey's parents to confirm the official identification. Once it was made official, screams of anguish filled the air as many family members in tears questioned why their loved one had to die.
I don't know which way to turn in regards to living without him. Been in my life for 19 years. I got so many memories of him.
Garvey says he was not aware of Sunday's fatal accident that occurred on Yorkshire Drive and West Sunrise Highway, and it was a close friend who advised him of the incident. But he says it was not unusual for Trey to sleep out, calling him a good son who was never disrespectful.
Don't care what kind of debates we have. It's always yes sir, no sir. He had his own way of living. He never kept much company. He was a music sensation. He loved singing. He was getting ready to enter into the world, to get himself together to follow his career. And one would say, why, hey, to God. But you know, God will never put more than you what you could bear.
Trey was also an active member of the Kevin G. Tomlinson Center, taking part in many of the productions over the years. Now our ZNS News team caught up with Kevin Tomlinson outside of the Rand Memorial Hospital, and he says he's in a state of shock.
For weeks he's been working with me and volunteering his service actually, up to Friday night. I dropped him home I think about 10 o'clock Friday night, near 10 o'clock. And, you know, I just can't explain how, you know, what a sad occasion this is.
And as for the motorists involved in the hit-and-run accident,
it hurts. We are not angry. We all face challenges when it comes to accidents. I hope that God could give them the comfort they need, because I know it's not easy on them.
unconfirmed reports say the authorities are questioning the alleged driver involved in the hit-and-run accident. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Natalia Hall.
Thank you, Natalia. Well, police are also investigating two separate drug matters. The first incident occurred shortly after 2 p.m. on Monday. Officers of the response unit, while in the area of Fawcett Lane, arrested a 23-year-old man of Raleigh Drive after he was found in possession of a quantity of suspected marijuana. In the second case, around 4 p.m. on Monday, officers of the Drug Enforcement Unit, acting on information while in the area of Casuarina Bridge, also discovered 3 taped packages of suspected marijuana in bushes near the canal. No arrest was made. The drugs are said to be around 18.5 pounds with a street value of $18,000. And we are still talking marijuana, but this time we are talking about the debate surrounding marijuana for medicinal use. Tonight we hear from a man who has made marijuana a big business in the United States, and he says the benefits in the industry are tremendous. As the conversation continues on the decriminalization of marijuana, Bahamian Elliot Hepburn Marshall shares how he has been having much success assisting many ill patients. Elliot started his business in 2007 in California, but he believes the time has come for the Bahamas to take a serious look at this multi-billion-dollar industry that could also save lives.
We are a lot sicker as a nation than we realize. And those people, I mean, it's the Bahamian way to suffer in private and in silence. We don't tell the world about our problems. And the majority of the calls I was getting was from mothers with autistic or epileptic kids. So that's what prompted me. And a lot of them were already taking measures into their own hands, going out of the country to find treatment for their kids. And I thought that was not right. So I started to advocate here.
He says the health benefits do not stop there and notes that while marijuana has been demonized, this all-natural plant offers many advantages without the side effects of traditional Western medicine.
Killing cancer, treating AIDS, stopping seizures, a host. I mean, it's endless. I mean, I've seen, me myself, I'm a cancer survivor, so I have been through it. I treated myself, and I know what it's like. So it's definitely, it's proven around the world. This is, understood. This is, there's no question around whether there's any efficacy of this plant. It's very effective.
He makes it clear that medical marijuana is not the end-all be-all, but says the benefits are truly one of a kind.
The cell wall is strong on cancer, so you have to weaken that cell wall. So you have to change your eating. Diet is essential. You have to really change your diet. Sugar feeds cancer. Dairy feeds cancer. Also makes your body very acidic. So you have to change the dynamics of your body. And basically everything that you've been eating prior to the day you found out you got cancer should have been the last day you ate that. Eat completely different.
Elliot says he is happy to know that the government is expected to establish a committee soon. That committee will embark on an educational campaign across the country to gauge public opinion on the issue. However, he also says that education is key, adding that most people believe that the only way to access the health benefits of marijuana is through smoking.
It is not only smoking, it is topicals, it is pills. There's a lot of other things beyond smoking that I don't encourage a cancer patient to smoke. So if your argument to me is that you're against smoking, me and you are on the same page, because I'm not encouraging the cancer patient to smoke. That's the last thing they need. There are alternative routes for us to take for that. We don't want to add to the cancer.
In other news, social media best practices to take the spotlight for entrepreneurs and small business owners at an upcoming social media workshop. Event coordinator Valdez K. Russell says as Grand Bahama embraces new opportunities in the areas of technology and innovation, it is important for Bahamian entrepreneurs to equip themselves with the necessary skills and tools to be globally competitive. Participants will be involved in an interactive experience to refresh, rethink, and reimagine their social media strategy. Get Social will be held tomorrow evening at 5:30 p.m. and that is at the Pelican Bay Resort. Stay with us. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. There's more news right after this break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Dolly Madison, Freeport's original home center.
Musicians, churches, nightclubs, Radio Shack is now stocked with heavy-duty power amps, powered speakers, subwoofers, cordless and wired microphones, lavaliers, guitar strings, drumsticks, skins, and accessories, guitar and bass amps, DI boxes, crossovers, line conditioners, percussion instruments, clarinet and saxophone reeds, PA systems, mixers, routers, hard drives, sound cards, tablets, MacBook Pro power cords and adapters, and so much more at the new Radio Shack at Dolly Madison Home Center.
Come on down.
Tired of the endless bank fees and long lines? The Grand Bahama Cooperative Credit Union is the solution to making your money work for you by providing you with free financial counseling, higher interest on savings plans, and lower interest rates on loans. Savings products such as Christmas and vacation clubs, fixed deposits, and annuity savings allow our members to prepare for today and tomorrow without all of the hassle. Join satisfied Bahamians who left their banking frustration.
That is here. Reduce that power bill today with solar systems and lights. Solar Up Bahamas, giving you free power throughout the Bahamas.
We've raised the stakes. We've raised the bar. We've raised the standard. Your new entertainment playground. Winners take chances. Chances makes winners. Chances remind you to game responsibly.
Stay informed on your local weather forecast this 2018 hurricane season. Your #1 news station, the ZNS Television Network. We've got you covered. Covering the Northern Bahamas, you're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. Grand Bahamians have a new outing starting this Wednesday. A social affair will host a talent night dubbed Showtime, and it is just one way local Bahamians can showcase their talent.
Are you a good singer? Dancer? Or rapper?
Talking cripple. My advice to Eli is to start rapping, stick to walking cripple.
Well, if you've ever watched Showtime at the Apollo and thought, I can do that, the opportunity to showcase your talent on Grand Bahama may be closer than you think. Over the next 9 weeks, the social affair is giving Grand Bahamians an opportunity to hit the big stage and entertain a crowd who may cheer or jeer through a new initiative called Showtime. Chief Operation Officer Chanzel McBride says that they will host a talent show every Wednesday beginning at 9 p.m.
You can rap, you can dance, you can juggle if you want to. You understand? It's whatever will enthuse the crowd because it's all based upon crowd participation. The crowd will judge. So obviously you want to come with your followers. That way you know you have the crowd. You know, you also want to rely on yourself being as, your best self. You've been practicing in the karaoke bars, you've been doing all this other stuff, so come on down and let your talent be known and exposed also. We always here every Wednesday night. There's a cash prize of $200 for the winners. We run it for the next 9 weeks, which will make a total of 10 weeks, give us 10 winners.
At the end of 10 weeks, a grand prize of $1,000 will be awarded to the overall winner.
We want to keep it a mature crowd, because you don't know what their talents are going to be. We'll host after the 10 weeks, and we're done with that, then we'll do something a little more open for the younger crowd, just before school. So you can it's all about having fun. It's all about giving a stage to someone that just wants to get on stage. There's no requirement, there's no parameter. It's whatever you feel would enthuse the crowd. That's what it's all about. It's having a good time.
McBride believes that this is an opportunity for Grand Bahamians to not only make some money during these tough economic times, but also give residents and visitors something to do.
This is something that we had a little brainstorm about to say, let's bring something new, something different that will be continuous. You understand? We don't just want to host it for one night and then that's it. We want to keep it going so that, Bahamians can have a brand new thing to do.
The first Showtime night will kick off this Wednesday night. You can contact the social affair for more information.
Vanjie, I think I'll enter to sing tomorrow night, or maybe not. Well, now to our Generation Y report. Tonight we will meet a young Bahamian whose investment in the world of PF technology is taking him around the world. Italia Hall has more on this report.
27-year-old Marvin Colby is originally from New Providence. He is a graduate of Queens College and currently holds 3 degrees in the political science field and law. Marvin is also the founder and CEO of Raise. Raise is currently building technology that makes it easier for small companies to raise money and for persons with mobile phones to invest in those companies. Raise has a presence in Nassau, Johannesburg, South Africa, and Nairobi, Kenya. He says the company has had much success and is now about to launch their pilot program with the Kenyan government.
I'm only there because, for a lot of reasons, our focus is on Africa and Caribbean market because we want to have diaspora people invest in both. So you could have someone, a Bahamian person in Canada who could invest in a Kenyan company and vice versa. And Kenya, because mobile money, which is the concept of taking out your phone and paying for things, is strong there. Everybody uses mobile money. Like, I don't even use cash while I there. So we build an investment product basically on top of mobile money technology, and that's one of the places in the world that has mobile money.
He says there are a lot of benefits in Kenya, and the Bahamian culture is similar to theirs.
We eat very similar foods. So there's not a lot of Caribbean people who go to live in the African continent. It's not a lot of African people who come to live on the Caribbean region. They don't know much about us. We obviously don't know much about them. I'm very lucky to be one of the few people who do that, and we literally the same people. I can't even express to you how similar our cultures are, how similar our way of thinking are, of being, of moving, of doing business. Everything is very similar. I feel like I'm in the Bahamas most of the time. Like, the things I see just make me feel like I'm in Nassau. And the music is very similar. Everything is very similar. So it's easy to integrate into that society because it's so similar to here.
Marvin says opportunities are there for Bahamians.
It's just about how hard you're willing to work. Like, being a technology entrepreneur and being on stage and announcing, it look a lot easier than it actually is. It's extremely difficult, man. Like, you waking up every day and you would never know what's going to happen next. But what keeps you going is just the resilience of knowing that you believe in what you're doing. So if you believe in what you're doing, man, like, you're going to find opportunities and they'll present themselves to you.
Switching gears now, the Royal Bahamas Police Force camp focusing on maritime laws and the consequences that come when breaking the law. Guest speaker at the Martin Town location yesterday was Fisheries Superintendent Clement Campbell. He says it is incumbent on all Bahamians to know what is going on in the country's fishing industry.
The country is set up now. We're trying to feed ourselves and protect our resources. So if you catch the children at a younger age now, then it'll be better off for the country. The resources here is so great. And like I told them, you don't have to be a lawyer or doctor or scientist or mechanic, because they think that you have to go and study and all that other stuff. That's fine. But pool your resources and go into the fishing business.
Campbell says his students appear to have retained a lot of information.
Catch a crawfish under 5.5 inches, that's illegal to catch one and you might go to jail. And the three most endangered species are the bonefish, the crawfish, and the shark.
The Bahamas is very rich in its waters, and also knowing that we can make like millions of dollars if we treat our resources well.
It's important to know because we should learn to preserve the fish for the future generation.
And now to this heart-wrenching story about an energetic toddler in need. The little boy has a rare form of cancer and his parents are hoping that you see the need to help. Megan Shepard reports.
My son is Amello Gardner. He's 4 years old and he has recently been diagnosed with retinoblastoma.
Allison Robinson says that her 4-year-old son Amello was diagnosed with a rare form of eye cancer after her daughter noticed something strange in his eye. Since then, the family had to travel to the United States for consultations and eye surgery.
From the size of the tumor, they're saying that, he probably had it from birth. And the only way to actually catch on to this rare tumor is to see the glow in the eye. And in his case, that's exactly what happened. After they did the CT scan, they took him over to we took it back to Davy's house, and they referred us to Bascom and Palmer, where he had the eye surgery to have the globe removed.
Robinson becoming emotional as she explains the urgency in which her son needs continued treatment in order to save his life. Amello, however, oblivious to the seriousness of the situation.
The doctors had called and said that they found traces of the cancer still in his bloodstream and he needs to start chemo as soon as possible. They're saying about an estimate of 6 rounds of chemo. Right now, I'm unavailable to pay for the treatment, and he needs it as soon as possible in hopes to save his life.
Wife Robinson is now pleading to the public for financial assistance as the family needs to travel once again for more tests and treatment. She has set up a GoFundMe page in the name of Amello Gardner.
I'm reaching out to the public for assistance, for financial assistance to help save my son's life, so that he can get the treatment that is needed, so he can grow and just be a regular, happy child.
You can also contact Allison Robinson at telephone number 375-4698. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
And now it is time to ask the doctor.
This is Ask the Doctor. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Welcome. David from 8 Mile Rock sent this question. I've severe headaches off and on for the past 3 months. Sometimes they're so severe that I even have to take the day off from work. What can be causing this? Hi, David, and thanks for your question. First, it is important to understand that there are different types of headaches. They can be primary or secondary. The most common type of primary headaches are tension, migraines, and cluster headaches. Secondary headaches usually result from an underlying injury or illness. Migraine headaches are less common than tension headaches, but are very severe. They usually last a lot longer, up to a few hours, with most people having to stay in bed because they are so intense. They can be accompanied by nausea and vomiting, and people can also become sensitive to light or sound, and often say that they had to lay in a dark, quiet room during an episode. From what you're describing, you could be having a migraine headache, but it's important that you see a doctor at one of our community clinics for full evaluation so they can determine the cause. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. A check on sports is up next.
Build your dreams, sail the seas. It's all going down this weekend at the 23rd Annual Grand Bahama Regatta and Homecoming, Taino Beach. Food, games, and drinks. See you there.
No ordinary meals are served here. It's all truly Bahamian favorites at Miss Nat's. We're serving breakfast and lunch specials daily, like Miss Nat's famous pea soup and dough, grouper fingers, cracked lobster, cock and chicken, fried, barbecued, hot and spicy wings. Try them all at Miss Nat's. Fantastic food, great service, new location.
You can win big with Pizza Hut's Big Dinner Box Summer Deal. Not only will you get 2 delicious medium one-topping pizzas, 5 breadsticks, and juicy wings, and a refreshing 2-liter Coke, you get to enter to win a fabulous 7-day Caribbean cruise for 2 with Gateway Travel on Carnival Cruise Lines.
Mom and Dad can use it, and we got money.
Pizza Hut's Big Dinner Box Summer Deal can make you a winner. Other prizes also available. Win big.
Welcome to Jags International. We have Celebration, Balearia, FRS, Bahamas Air, Hotel, car vouchers now on sale.
Girls, I tried book my ticket online with them fairy them. So complicated, they asking for too much.
That's why I stick to Jags. No agency fees or booking fees. Cash and credit, all the same. Blow deals and spectacular services with a smile.
Yes, that's Jags. Your one-stop shop to Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, and Miami.
We even offer cheap car rental vouchers to all our thrifty Hertz and VIP service.
Book now with Jags and get their $5 discount card. And don't forget the super sales going on.
Topping sports, the first annual Pine Ridge Slow Pitch Softball Tournament held at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex softball field, and that was deemed a huge success. It was a fun-filled day that brought members of the constituency and others together. Our Miko Knowles was there taking in all the sights of fun and action.
The West Grand Bahamas Summer League basketball camp has been in motion for weeks and is now gearing up for playoff action. 17 teams in 4 different groups are competing for various awards. Tournament coordinator Ross Barrow says it has been great to see young men from different communities come together to play against each other and enjoy themselves.
Well, we're having a bunch of fun here in Pinedale Park every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. We anticipate competitive playoff. Everything is on the go for the playoff. All the standings is in place, and hopefully we can get some more participation from the community to come out and enjoy themselves.
Jaheim Dixon and Berzel Cox have both participated in the Basketball Summer League for the past 3 years, and they say it's encouraging to see how much the league has grown.
It's fun playing against all my friends and community, and just a good way to keep myself out of trouble and just come out here and have fun. Last year we had all these, privileges, but now we have uniform, we have music, we have, sponsors coming out, supporting us, So I feel great about the tournament this year.
I think that Ross and Miss Burrows is conducting this tournament very well. For my 3rd consecutive year, I think that it's going very well. It's going very well.
Now the camp will culminate on August 11th with an awards and fun day. A 40 and over basketball game is also expected to take place. That should be exciting to see. Reporting for ZNS Total Sports, I'm Ramiko Noyes.
Thanks, Ramiko, and that's a check on sports.
By Megan Coakley. When you want to look like a star. Phone 443-7979.
Business owners are excited about ZNS Northern Service Storm Central Hurricane packages because advertising rates are discounted up to 50%. That's right, get 50% off advertising packages this hurricane season from now through November 30th. Call our sales department at 351-3430 or 352-9713 and book your advertising package today.
Influenza or the flu can be serious, causing hospitalization and sometimes death. One of the best ways to prevent acquiring the flu is to get your annual flu shot. Flu shots are available free of charge at all community clinics. The following high-risk persons are encouraged to get their annual flu shots: children 6 months and older, pregnant women, adults over the age of 50, persons with asthma, diabetes, hypertension, or a weakened immune system resulting from cancer and/or HIV, persons in nursing homes, and healthcare providers. Additional information regarding the flu shot can be provided by your nearest community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
And our thoughts and prayers go out to you, Troy Garvey and family, and a special hello to you, Shauna Taylor. That's going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shashina Rowe-Farquharson. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Tonight, the National Report. The Prime Minister to tout his over-the-hill development at the United Nations. A vital utility proposed to increase for the first time in 2 decades. And a man convicted in the slaying of his grandmother. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now.
This portion of the news is brought to you by BTC Every Day.
The nation's leader to address world leaders at the United Nations tomorrow. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Topping the news tonight, Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, left the capital today for those high-level talks held under the theme Transformation Towards Sustainable and Resilient Societies. The Bahamas will be among 46 countries presenting national plans for sustainable development during the Political Forum on Sustainable Development at the UN. From the perspective of the Bahamas, that achievement is centered around transforming the inner city. The Prime Minister introduced the plan in Parliament. He detailed the proposal as one that would promote the redevelopment of communities through the granting of certain exemptions and fiscal incentives for the renovation and restoration of property and the encouragement of business in a designated economic empowerment zone, declaring them tax-free zones. He named the boundaries extending from Delancey Street, Wolf Road South, Nassau Street, west of Collins Wall, St. Barnabas, Angliston, Rock Crusher, Gambier, portions of Fox Hill, and Camp Road. The UN's forum focuses in particular on the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation, access to modern energy supply, making cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable, and protecting, restoring, and promoting sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, and halting and reversing land degradation. The Prime Minister is expected to make that address tomorrow. In other news tonight, Press Secretary Anthony Newbold also referring to the Prime Minister's address set for tomorrow. Here's what he had to say about it.
The Prime Minister will refer to the work being done in the Over the Hill Development Partnership Initiative. Also, while in New York, the Prime Minister will speak with the head of Singapore's delegation to the UN to expand further on conversations Prime Minister had with the Prime Minister of Singapore with respect to the digitization of the Bahamas. The Prime Minister will pay a courtesy call on His Excellency Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General of the United Nations, and a part of that courtesy call will include a discussion on how the UN might be able to assist the Bahamas with some developmental grants that may be available.
In other news tonight, the government is assuring that schools will be repaired and open in time for the start of the new school year, saying that the mistakes of last year won't be repeated. Here's DeAndre Williamson.
I fully expect that the school repairs this year are going to be finished on time, and they're not going to be like my first year. My first year I was embarrassed. I had to apologize, and that will not happen this year.
With that promise from Works Minister the Honorable Desmond Bannister, school repairs have begun at the cost of $6.9 million.
We subsequently had an exercise where we made a determination with respect to the contractors who were going to do the work for each school. Every school has been assigned to a contractor. Every contractor has got a scope of works, or should have one by now. Each contractor, I think, was given 2 days to look at the scope of works and see how realistic it was compared to the work they had to do and the pricing. And they should all be hard at work now.
Education Minister the Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd acknowledges the ongoing upgrades taking place at schools like Eva Hilton Primary, schools in Holmes Rock, Grand Bahama, and San Salvador. But Lloyd says other contracts to assist with additional school repairs throughout the Bahamas will be awarded.
Within a short period of time, we're also going to go ahead and give contracts out for school painting. You know, now that the repairs would be completed, say about the midweek of August, we'll go ahead and give the contracts out for school painting. And at the same time, the school grounds cleaning, because you got to get those prepared for the advance of school opening in the first week of September.
Last year, there were delays in the repair of several schools in New Providence, like Stephen Dillett Primary, and throughout the Family Islands. However, government is now seeking to accommodate Family Island school repairs more smoothly.
The school in the Family Islands is a different process that ends up going through the government's representative in the Family Islands, the administrators. And so that's another process we're looking at. And we're looking at how we can seek to expedite that more efficiently than we have in the past.
For ZNS Network News, I'm DeAndre Williamson.
Management at the Water and Sewage Corporation seeking an increase in water bills moving forward, the first in 20 years. Executive Chairman Adrian Gibson says a proposal is being prepared and will be submitted to Cabinet for approval. He says it's all in an effort to make that company more profitable.
The reality is the corporation is unable to meet its bills in the current condition. We haven't had a tariff increase since 1999. Given inflation and the cost of production of RO water and so on, the corporation is hardly staying above water. Given that, we see a need for that. And then with the government moving away from overly subsidizing state-owned enterprises, we think that the tariff increase would go a long way to assisting us with our operations.
Mr. Gibson said the move is necessary as the government has cut the subsidy to the utility company by some $5 million.
We have been requested by the Ministry of Finance to produce a plan which will speak to the subsidy being totally reduced and or removed over the next few years. That means we have to put ourselves in a position to survive independently. A tariff increase, negotiating better business contracts, streamlining in terms of the corporation, voluntary separation, operational efficiency.
Minister of Works, the Honourable Desmond Bannister, responding to concerns issued by straw vendors who owe rental fees for their booths on the Bay Street Market. Thousands of dollars are owed in rent, and Bannister explained what has happened to those vendors who haven't paid up.
So they weren't put out of the market, even though the regulations, as you now see, almost put us in a position where we ought to put them out of the market. They were not put out; their booths were locked. There are a few who are no longer in the market. This is an endless task and a thankless task for the chairman to continually be trying to get this $37, $38 a week from a number of vendors who over the 5 years from 2012 to 2017 got accustomed to not paying. That is unfair to you as Bahamian taxpayers.
Now, Mr. Bannister says the straw market has to operate even if the vendors don't pay, but he's encouraging them to keep their commitments.
The straw market is a wonderful example of what a small business could be. You get to pay a tiny rent of less than $40 a week. You get to run your business. You get to deal with your national insurance, have your employee, and you get to make money. And for very, very tiny overhead. And so it's important for all of the vendors to live up to their obligations.
For years now, self-employed business persons across the country have been challenged with paying their NIB contributions and have fallen into outstanding arrears. Well, the director of the National Insurance Board, Dr. Nicola Virgil-Roll, told ZNS News during her first week in office that efforts are underway to make several improvements to the compliance unit.
Well, I met a very broad and extensive program in place, which targeted and looked at targeting improving compliance of some of the bigger operations as well, to ensure that we raise the necessary funds and ensure compliance with the persons and businesses who should be contributing to the fund.
Meantime, Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson has confirmed to ZNS News that over the next 12 to 18 months, emphasis will be placed on improving the customer experience through the use of technology. This move, he says, will be especially beneficial for small business owners. He outlined another benefit that SMEs will be available or will have available to them in the next year.
All businesses under $100,000, all small businesses I have to check the classification, but anything that's now presently classified as a small business will have the $100 fee waive. So the idea is just, again, to find a way to just help small businesses get business and to lower their costs. On top of that, we're doing quite a bit of work to streamline the processes for people getting into business. We have started that work. We're still in this very initial stage, but we have sort of tried to consolidate it into a single online interface and then to improve upon what we have in now.
Johnson also revealed that measures are being put in place to bring about greater efficiency.
Starting in August, the Customs Department is piloting the electronic single window, and it's starting with air freight, and where that will allow persons as opposed to having to manually fill out the customs entry forms to be able to do it online from wherever they are, to be able to track it. So that'll speed that whole process, and certainly by early next year, it is to have all customs entries now to be done electronically. And that will really, really help any number of persons who have to bring in goods to be able to do it quickly. It'll help us on our end be able to track information better, to do more analysis around information, to track any areas where we believe there may be slippage or other matters of concern.
Well, still ahead tonight, a man convicted of killing his grandmother. And president of the Fisheries Alliance calling for stiffer penalties for poachers. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, continues right after this break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell, fueling journeys that matter. Summer promotion.
This is the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. This is Commonwealth Bank. And no matter how, no matter where, no matter what, Commonwealth Bank is here for you. Commonwealth Bank, everything we do it for you.
Here comes the lucky guy who won a date with Fanshawn to his prom.
KFC got the big deal meal, freshly handmade every day for real.
Made fresh every day?
What I said, what you take? KFC got the big deal meal. Hey, it's a real big deal. KFC got the big deal meal. Hey, it's a
now that's a big deal.
Hey, it's a real big deal. Hey, it's a real big deal.
There's nothing as powerful as knowing where you belong. No more waiting. It's time to come home. Come home to friendly smiles. Come home to convenience. Come home to more interest on savings and lower fees. Come home to our bank and your bank. Come home to Bank of the Bahamas, your bank of solutions.
Independence Day, sunny days, regattas, and homecomings are all a part of Bahamian summers, as are the weekly specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Feliz Ready Cut Macaroni 400-gram box, 99 cents. Whole chicken wings, $1.59 per pound. Kraft salad dressings, 8-ounce bottle, 2 for $3. Joy Dish Liquids, 30-ounce size, $2.99. Sweet cherries, $3.99 per pound. Carolina Pride Ham, 10-ounce size, $2.99. Bahamian and proud, that's Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
We start with a yes, but when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel anywhere. Fly on any airline, anywhere, at any time, with no blackout dates. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
Know how you can save more money, save more time, earn more interest, and have more for the future? The solution is an account from Fidelity Bank. With our ASU Savings, fixed deposits, and preferred client program, you can get free financial advice from our team of experts, competitive interest rates, and free online banking for simple and safe banking anytime, anywhere. Open a fixed deposit or savings account with Fidelity by visiting a branch today. Get into the rhythm of saving with Fidelity. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Free National Movement Chairman Carl Culmer is demanding the resignation of the managing editor of the Nassau Guardian after the paper published an article alleging that Deputy Governor General C.A. Smith slammed the selection process for national heroes. Culmer, who criticized the paper for a lack of ethical standards for wrongly citing Smith, says when people depend on an organization for facts, there is an obligation to do the job right. He says now that the paper has admitted to its journalistic lapse, its publishers must do the right thing. The Nassau Guardian has since issued an apology and retraction and noted the comments were made by former PLP Minister George Smith. A jury has convicted 26-year-old Jonathan Bethel of killing his 74-year-old grandmother, Vivian Johnson, back in 2013. The 12-member panel took just over an hour to return a unanimous guilty verdict against Bethel, who showed no reaction to the decision. During the trial, prosecutors contended that Bethel fatally stabbed his grandmother some 27 times before going on a joyride in her car. He'll be sentenced on September 17th. Well, 44-year-old Henry Gay is behind bars awaiting sentencing after a jury convicted him of raping a 17-year-old American visitor on San Salvador 4 years ago. Police say the young girl was at the dock in Coburn Town when she was assaulted. Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson will sentence Gay on September 6th. President of the Commercial Fisheries Alliance, Adrian LaRota, is calling on the government to implement stiffer penalties to deter persons who are illegally fishing in Bahamian waters. LaRota told ZNS News yesterday the revised Fisheries Regulation Act calls for stiffer penalties to address poaching in the country.
It's still in the discussion stage. It hasn't gone to Parliament yet, so we are encouraging the government to bring it to Parliament as quickly as possible, even if only parts of the legislation could be enacted now. Because quite frankly, our main issue right now is that through the loopholes in the current legislation, foreigners are able to come in and work in the Bahamas fishing industry. Completely illegal, but they're allowed to do it because of a loophole. We need to close those loopholes. And in closing those loopholes, we will automatically stop part of our poaching issue.
LaRota says he's also concerned that illegal nationals living in the Bahamas are feeding information to poachers as to which areas, they should tackle at a certain time to dodge Defense Force authorities. Additionally, LaRota says stiffer penalties and further confiscation of vessels would put some fear into poachers.
Information is passed to these guys. So listen, the BDF vessel just left. If they're headed to you, they should be to you in X amount of days. That's the kind of network that they have, okay? These are enemies of the state. They mean us no good. They have wiped out their own fishing grounds, and they're here to do the same to us. And they tell us this, okay? So while the best efforts may be employed to stop this problem, until we actually get to the root of the problem, we're just putting a Band-Aid on a cankerous sore.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly. The government is moving ahead to create tax-free zones so as to empower residents to improve their way of life, particularly in the over-the-hill communities. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, tabled the Economic Empowerment Zones Bill 2018 last week, aimed at bringing about that desired effect. The bill seeks to designate communities as economic empowerment zones and to encourage the economic and social empowerment of residents in the specific areas. The bill further seeks to provide concessions for property owners and businesses in good standing, among other things. In other business news, Bahamian tech company Cloud Carib has announced that it is now hosting a signing node on the cryptocurrency and blockchain GoChain network. GoChain is scalable, high-performance, decentralized cryptocurrency and blockchain that supports smart contracts and distributed applications. The establishment of a signing node on the GoChain network demonstrates Cloud Carib's dedication to the development of the Bahamas as the Silicon Valley of the Caribbean. And in international news, Goldman Sachs has officially named its next CEO, kicking off a new era at the powerful Wall Street Bank. The company's president, David Solomon, will take over for Lloyd Blankfein as CEO starting in October. Blankfein will also step down as chairman at the end of the year, and Solomon will take over that role beginning in 2019. Now, as chief executive, Solomon will inherit a bank that just reported a better than expected $2.3 billion profit for the second quarter because of its strong gains in its investment banking business. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Gatterly.
What is a promise? A promise fulfilled can mean so much. A bond, a commitment, a vow. It's a yes in a world of maybes. We made a promise to you, and we delivered. Our super-fast LTE network is now on every island. And every day we invest in local communities and technology so we can deliver the best of everything to you. Our promise is our guarantee. And now we promise our best is yet to come. Alive, believe in best.
At Outback Marathon Mall, there are no rules, and that's just right. We are the tasty and affordable choice for both indoor and outdoor dining, watching the big game on big screens, or just having a few with friends at the bar. Our friendly staff at Outback love to make your family dinners, lunch meetings, hangouts, and birthday celebrations a blooming good time. Dine in, take out, or have us bring Outback to your event with just a call. At Outback, there are no rules, and that's just right.
If you own a portfolio of securities within a brokerage account, like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you can access a hassle-free loan, known as a margin loan, based on the value of that portfolio. Your investment portfolio is essentially used as collateral for a cash loan. And the benefits are numerous. Simple and straightforward application, quick turnaround, a more competitive interest rate, no requirement for monthly payments. Contact us for more information on margin loans.
Little Generals on East Street South is well known for the best quality and lowest prices on all your grocery and houseware needs. Little Generals has a large selection of meats, produce, dairy items, water and juices, all your favorite snacks, housewares, vegan products, gourmet items, and health supplements. Anything you can think of, it's all sold right here at Little Generals. Little Generals also provides the best customer service, making you want to come back again and again. So visit Little Generals today on East Street South. Call 325-5798.
Life happens, and when it does, FG Insurance Agents and Brokers is here. We help you protect the assets you've worked hard to attain. We offer home, auto, marine, commercial, and liability insurance. Don't hesitate to protect what matters with FG Insurance Agents and Brokers. Visit us and speak to your agent today, or call us at 396-1490 in Nassau or 688-1500 in Freeport.
Move forward, Bahamas, and build high into the sky. Move upward and colorize those new walls. Move onward and build a garden to last a lifetime. Move together and settle into that new home. There's a lot of places you can do it for yourself, but there's one place to do it right. Builders Mall. We know exactly what motto you live by, and even the pros know building is just a part of what we do. So move forward, Bahamas. And remember, you can find it all at Builders Mall.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
July and August are routinely the busiest months for traveling out of the Lynden Pinling International Airport. With that in mind, and to help passengers avoid excessively long lines, Vice President of Marketing and Commercial Development at the Nassau Airport Development Company, Jan Knowles, is encouraging passengers to arrive earlier than they usually would.
This is a very, very busy travel time. Coming in 3 hours ahead is not unreasonable for you to catch your flight. It gives you that time to easily check in, go through all your formalities, and for you to be able to relax ahead of your flight. You just never know, so it's always better to come early.
Now, Knowles says finding prime parking spots can also pose a challenge during the busy summer travel season. She says there are ample spots at the airport, but timing your arrival can also impact the parking spot that you get for those leaving the island.
Persons, particularly who are traveling domestically, need to understand that the domestic parking lot will typically close very quickly, but there is certainly overflow parking for that area for the domestic parking in the international parking lot. So another reason to come early so that you can park comfortably, get across, and then take your flight.
One sector of the Toastmasters is looking to bring more awareness to Bahamian culture. And as Jonathan Benson tells us, they started off with a bang.
The Pinnacle Seekers beginning their Cultural Explosion series at Junkanoo World, and spectators got a special treat as 89-year-old John Chippy Chipman performed.
All kinds of designs is inside here. This place is beautiful and everybody enjoying themselves very much tonight. I want to make sure all the young ones learn this because we have the best down here. And everybody who wants good entertainment come to the Bahamas as a visitor and they go back and tell their friends they enjoy themselves so much. All the families them be coming down. Every day we got 5-6 boats in down, thousands of tourists. I play for the shifts every morning, 7:30 to 10:30. My band play in Paradise Island and Marina 3 nights a week. I can't take no more job. Get somebody else a chance because I highly booked up.
Chipman was joined by his pupil, Quentin Barabbas Woodside, who himself is a cultural icon, having recently been included in the Queen's New Year's honors.
If it wasn't for Mr. John Chippy Chipman here in this country, this culture would have already been finished. Because I got my first drum from Mr. John Chippy Chipman. And this is not easy playing in goatskin and making these drums. The love for this, you have to love it. I see children pass and they want to warm it and hold their nose, but what we have to go through to make these drums is unbelievable.
Even though it's becoming more difficult to make the drums, Chippy and Barabbas still plan to continue their work, and they've found some good friends down south to assist.
Long Island is known for the mutton, and then once you get the meat for the mutton, it's great that we could use the skins to inject into our culture. So you use the whole animal, and essentially the animal lives forever. As we come now on Boxing Day, New Year's Day, and we beat this goat skin drum, the sheep is not only in our belly, but it's in our soul and our spirit.
We had a drought in this country for skins. We had to go to Jamaica to bring hundreds and hundreds of skin to keep our culture alive. Now today, Mr. Gary and many others from Long Island sending skins, and we purchasing hundreds of dollars worth of skin in our country.
Bahamians working together to keep our Bahamian culture alive. Jonathan Benson, ZNS Network News.
Campers of the Central Police Division making a special visit today. Catherine Gomez has more on their stop at Mount Fitzwilliam.
The Royal Bahamas Central Division Annual Summer Camp paid a courtesy call on Governor General, the Most Honorable Dame Marguerite Pinling. The campers were ecstatic to meet the head of state as she encouraged them to be the future leaders for their Bahama land. Sergeant Christina Allen, assistant coordinator at the camp, says she believes in empowering and educating the youth to pursue their dreams.
We are about positive minds, positive hands, positive lives, positive citizens. We're igniting the dreams of our youths by trying to get them to see other ways to keep themselves positively busy during the summer break. It doesn't matter if you're from Baintown. It doesn't matter if you're from over the hill. You can be what you want to be. So we try to ignite those dreams and passion in the children from a very young age. And that's why even at our camp, we allow 5-year-olds to also come to our camp.
Track and field coach, Officer Burnside, says she is happy to use her talent and skills to help the campers physically and mentally.
Well, track and field has been a sport that I've been doing. I was doing and a part of for the last 23 years. I also went off to school for it, so bringing my talent to the camp has really helped most of the kids because they look up to me. They always come to me for advice. They ask me if they're doing well. So it's good to be a part of their life and influencing them to, run and take the sport seriously.
The youth expressed the profound influence the camp made on their lives.
I'm the facilitator just for the female class. This camp is not only about having fun, it isn't only about cheering or sports, it's also about self-development and growing as a young female. I may be young, but I just want to let them know that although I am young, they should be comfortable enough to talk to me and I can give them any type of guidance that they're needing.
Being in the camp, they named me the captain of the basketball team. So it's really a good role to play, and it also helps me to keep my skills up to par as the summer goes along. It gives me a chance to, use my time better instead of being on the street doing other stuff that I shouldn't be doing.
The camp is very enjoyable. We do many things, and for one, cheerleading is something that I have been a part of, and we also won a cheerleading competition. When I started dancing, my first just dropped.
We go on field trips, we get to make crafts, we get hot meals every day. We make hand bracelets, we make candy marshmallows, and just like this, and we have fun.
I love Central Camp! Catherine Gomez, ZNS Network News.
Well, stay tuned. There's more news to come. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
It is summertime, which means it's the busy travel season. So before you head off on your vacations, BTC would like for you to know that we still have the best roaming rates, which will make your vacation that much better. So tell us what it is, how does it work?
So roaming allows you to use your phone when you're traveling. And of course, we are going into the peak travel season. Prior to you traveling to the United States, the best thing to do is to top up your phone, because you're going to need money in order to roam. A lot of persons think that if I purchase a data plan or if I purchase a combo plan, I'm going to be able to use that when I'm traveling. The plans that you purchase here are for local use only. Once you travel into the US or into another country, you're now on another country's network. And then also now with the travel plans, you can actually plan a little bit before you go ahead. So while you're at the airport waiting in line at Bahamas Air, you can purchase a travel plan, dial star 203 pound and select the travel plans, and you can actually purchase that plan and be ready to go. And then when you land, you'll connect to AT&T or T-Mobile and you're ready to go. Even if you're just traveling and using your phone normally without a travel plan, you're getting the best rates.
We covered a lot of information here, so if you have any additional information that you need to know, please feel free to call our customer helpline at 225-5282. I'm Corval Pyfrom, and we'll see you next BTC Connection.
BTC every day.
At Outback Marathon Mall, there are no rules, and that's just right. We are the tasty and affordable choice for both indoor and outdoor dining, watching the big game on big screens, just having a few with friends at the bar. Our friendly staff at Outback love to make your family dinners, lunch meetings, hangouts, and birthday celebrations a blooming good time. Dine in, take out, or have us bring Outback to your event with just a call. At Outback, there are no rules, and that's just right.
Free, reliable, anytime, anywhere, and instant. That's the benefits of using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Pay bills, check account balances, transfer funds, and more. Enjoy the freedom of banking on your own terms. Why wait in line? Save time. Do your banking using RBC's digital banking, ATM services, or mobile app. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean to find out more.
We'll be with you through new beginnings and sunset endings, through toil and many tears, through the joys and many fears. For all of life's ever-changing moments, trust J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers for all of your insurance needs. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, giving you peace of mind.
Everybody, are you on TV? Look, are you on TV? Mom, guess what it is? That's me. Bartender, do you see me? Are you on television? I gotta tell my girlfriend are you on television.
Hello?
Babe, turn your television to ZNS.
Quick, are you on television? I don't have a TV in here. We have Wi-Fi though. We have Wi-Fi.
That's fine. They upgrade now. You can watch it live from your phone.
You just have to download the app. All right, hold on.
Go to the App Store, type in ZNS, download the app, and you'll be able to watch ZNS straight from your phone. Hurry up and start over again.
Get your news and more anytime, anywhere with the new ZNS app. Stay connected from around the globe with our live stream news updates, all in the palm of your hand. You can also listen to the ZNS Radio Network for your favorite music. Go into your Apple or Google Play Store and download the ZNS app today.
Present check. Miss I's star now. I still gotta pay.
Well, it was a rather nice day weather-wise here in the capital. To find out what it was looking like across the Family Islands, we check in with Chief Meteorologist Basil Zine. Hey there, Basil.
Hi, Keisha. It was pretty steamy as well, with the heat index getting up to near 110 degrees today. And right now, we're going to take a look at temperatures around the Family Islands. And they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 88 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Toll, Key and Abaco, also Marsh, Abaco at 88 degrees, 85 in the Berry Islands, also Bimini reporting 85 degrees, in Harbor Island 84, Rock Sandy Lutra 84, Otterstown, Cat Island 84 as well. Daniel Key 85, 85 is also in Kemps Bay, South Andros, and Fresh Creek in Central Andros. San Salvador, Rumkey 84, 85 degrees in Georgetown, Exuma, in Clarencetown, Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Megawana, Acklands, and Ragged Island, they're all at 83. Matthewtown, Inagua 84 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 83. Your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwest Bahamas, the winds will be southeast around 10 to 15 knots. That means the wave height should be about 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. High tide tonight will take place at 11:33. In the central and southeastern islands, southeast winds at 15 to 20 knots, wave heights 4 to 7 feet. So caution flags are in place for your boaters in the central and southeast Bahamas. For the northwest Bahamas tomorrow, the winds rotating a bit clockwise, becoming southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots. The wave heights holding at 2 to 4 feet. Low tide at 6 in the morning, high tide at 12:11 in the afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands tomorrow, southeast winds 15 to 20 knots once again with choppy seas 4 to 7 feet. Caution flag stays, and then we take you into Thursday where there's no change in the northwestern islands. The winds remain southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet. Low tide 6 to 54 in the morning, high tide at 1:12 in the afternoon. And for the southeast Bahamas, the winds southeast at 15 to 20, wave heights 4 to 7 feet, and caution flags once again. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your travel forecast, and your travel forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
I ain't going back. No. I ain't going back. No. I done had one heart attack, so I ain't going back. I ain't going She done give me heart attack, Jack, I ain't going back. It's not often I get the chance to have what I call a real romance. Hugging and kissing all the time, getting roached even in.
That's going to do it for your travel forecast brought to you by Royal Star Shorts. But stay tuned, the extended weather forecast is coming up in about 20 minutes.
Welcome to Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Scleroderma is a chronic or ongoing disease that affects the skin and may also affect internal organs in some people. Scleroderma causes the body to produce too much collagen. Collagen is a protein that makes up connective tissues such as in the skin. Too much collagen can make the skin stretch, harden, and thicken, and can also cause damage to internal organs such as the heart, lungs, and kidneys. There are two types of scleroderma: localized and systemic. Localized scleroderma affects the skin only. Systemic scleroderma affects joints, blood vessels, and internal organs as well as the skin. Anyone can have scleroderma, but women are more likely to develop it. Symptoms may start with reddish patches of skin that thicken into hardened, oval-shaped areas. Patches usually appear on the chest, stomach, and back, but can also affect the face, arms, and legs. In children, scleroderma may begin as a single line or band of skin that thickens and changes in color. Doctors don't know what causes scleroderma. It is an autoimmune disease. Normally, antibodies produced by the immune system help to protect the body against viruses, bacteria, and other foreign substances. If you have an autoimmune disease, your immune system produces antibodies that attack your body's tissues and/or organs. To learn more about scleroderma, ask your doctor or consult a dermatologist. This has been Tips for Wellness. I'm Dr. Indira Grimes. Live your best life by living well.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
Clean clothes for the family, uniforms for the baby, suit for mommy and daddy. We wash the super to clean the super. If you wanna look fly and you wanna look clean, if you wanna look fresh, better than all the rest. Bring all your church clothes and all your work clothes. Bring all your children clothes. Super wash.
When school ends, BTC summer vacation begins. That means freedom to switch it up and break a few rules.
I am flying overseas and when she touch down, she not stop call me. And I nothing for me breed, girl. Me want no cute like a Bob Marley. Me fix them.
Freedom to mix and, of course, mingle. Freedom to go wild and take the fun to a whole new level. Join the BTC Summer Vacation for exclusive rewards, cool prizes, and more.
Okay.
BTC, the bigger, better network.
Hank Johnson. Now that Bahamas residents can fly or cruise free to the family islands, what are your summer vacation plans?
We're going to the news room.
And there is no better time than now with the 2 Fly or Cruise Free promotion, where all residents of the Bahamas can fly or cruise free to the family islands from Nassau. Refresh, reconnect, and unwind in the family islands. For details, go to bahamasresidents.com and fly or cruise free to the family islands today.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Welcome to sports, everybody. The Little League Baseball World Series Caribbean qualifier continuing today in Puerto Rico. It wasn't a good day for the Bahamas as they lost both games of a doubleheader, entering the day undefeated at 3-0. Freedom Farm opened up this morning with a 7-4 loss to Puerto Rico's A team, which is the only unbeaten team left in the tournament. They followed that up with a 10-9 setback to a Curaçao team, which had only one loss heading in. At 3-2, Freedom Farm will close out round-robin play tomorrow against Aruba, which sports a record of 3-1. Lorraine Lafleur making waves in the sport of professional bodybuilding. Less than a year after earning her pro card, Lafleur won the women's physique category over the weekend at a show in Montreal, Canada. That victory now qualifies Lafleur for the World Games in Shanghai, China in November. Bahamians also doing big things in the sport of rowing. Brothers William and Ethan Stanhope were a part of the team that won gold in the men's intermediate quadruple sculls this past weekend at the U.S. Rowing Club's Nationals in New Jersey. This is the first gold medal a Bahamian has ever won at the event. The Bahamas Jaguars, led by St. George's coach Darryl Sayers, making an impact on the AAU basketball circuit in the U.S. Led by some of the top high school players in the country, the Jaguars captured their bracket championship at the George McClintock Invitational in Houston, Texas, during the NCAA's Live Open recruitment period. Back here at home, the 23rd annual Peace on the Street Basketball Classic tipping off last night. Carlos Reed is the organizer.
We have about 36 teams that's involved this year, which have grown from the 8 teams that we started 22 years ago. This is our second year doing it down at the Hope Center. We're going to be doing it for the next 5 nights here, and then we take it over to the Kendall Isaac Gymnasium, where we're going to have our family night, which is going to feature the Rover Slam Dunk Contest, the Sunshine Auto 3-point shootout. We're going to have all our championship game, and of course that big celebrity game that everybody is so excited about.
In addition to the Slam Dunk Contest, Rubus has also come on board as one of the tournament's major sponsors.
We're excited to share in the Youth Against Violence movement in the Bahamas. We believe very strongly in this cause, and we're also excited to partner with JML Enterprises, our retailer, for several of our service stations as they are looking to hire some new exciting employees for their service stations. As we said on Saturday night, the family night, we're excited to give away a few $1,000s in prizes for the Rubus Slam Dunk competition.
In terms of the competition on the court, the Young Ballers, one of the teams taking part.
It's a newly formed team, keeping the youth them together and organized. Basketball is a team sport. We're trying to teach the team, we're trying to teach camaraderie. What we're doing, we just won our first game by 11 points, and it was a big team. But the pressure and the effort from the young guys made it all possible. So it's not about me as the coach, it's about the individuals and the children and the young ballers today.
Fight sports jiu-jitsu started here in the Bahamas last December, and from then to now, it's come a long way.
5 people who train here in outside of the country, and then when we moved to here, many Bahamians started to train with us. So now we are 65 students, but sharing in an adult class, that class that you guys seen, and we have the kids class. We teach jiu-jitsu and self-defense, and we have a anti-bully program for kids, for teenagers. That we just not only teach martial arts, but we teach values. Do you know what I mean? If you are confident, if you know martial arts, you don't need bullying nobody, and so you not let anybody bullying you. But the first thing, you have to protect yourself and protect the people who you love, and protect some people that you see is suffering some unfair situation.
The club offers a women's self-defense program as well.
It's focused for how the women can defend themselves against a man attack or against some attack. We don't fight in human self-defense, how the woman can fight against a man, because sometimes the power is very different. But we teach skills that the woman can make a damage in someone who attacked her and get out of that bad situation.
On to some golf news now. The second year of the Sands Bear Cup is off to another great start. Veteran golfer Vernon Wells currently on top of the leaderboard with 146 points. He leads Richard Gibson Jr. by 1 point. Third is Stephen Johnson with 142. Now Gibson currently leads the Open division. Johnson on top in the Mid-Amateur. In the Senior division, the leader there is Damon Pinder with 131 points. Meantime, in the Super Seniors, Wells leading the way there. Players are competing in several tournaments here in New Providence, also in Grand Bahama, Exuma, and Abaco. The next event on the schedule is the Lyford Key Classic this Friday. That will be followed by the Exuma Classic on August the 11th. Skipper and owner of the Barbarian, Delworth Gibson, hoping the Independence Regatta will be moved back here to the capital. He spoke about what needs to be done for that to happen.
The three clubs have to come together. And we have had meetings already, and all of their heads are under the same cap. So if the three clubs come together, it doesn't matter what Andrus wants to do. Because if Andrus don't have those clubs supporting them, they have no vote. So these three clubs have all of the votes in the country, along with the Long Island Association. So if we want this thing here in the capital and the three of them come together and say that's where it's going to be, that's where it's going to be.
The Calic Summer Bowling League back on the lanes last night at Mario's. Alcondo Hepburn from the Advocates took top honors on the men's side, scoring a 238 high game and a 6-10 three-game set. Brad Fowler of the Closers had a 217 game, while Alfred Burrows of the Strike Force finished with a 567 set. For the ladies, Janice Hoyt of the Advocates, a 190 game and a 524 set. Shanta Kerr posted a 215 game for the Closers, while teammate Kayla Nixon had a 510 set. And that will do it for sports. Stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight comes back after the break.
ZNS Total Sports is brought to you by 4th Terrace Diagnostic Center.
Hey, I'm Megan Shepard, a reporter here at the ZNS Northern Service. Did you know that ZNS is right at your fingertips when you download the new ZNS app? Missed something in our newscast? That's okay. Simply pull up the app, swipe, and you'll find all of our news headlines and highlights. So what are you waiting for? Download the new ZNS app today.
Unfortunately, that can be painful.
Yeah, well, you're gonna feel some pain if you close down my branch. Look, all my friends work there. We worked our butts off. We took pride in our work. Don't worry, we're careful with all of our packages. Next. If you wanted it to get there tomorrow, then you should have thought about that 2 days ago. We not Santa.
I'm on a fast, and I'm moving fast away from your cookies.
Since when do people turn out cookies?
Something smells good.
Thank you, baby.
I'm talking about those cookies. You smell good, too. Is that cinnamon?
Yes, it is.
Look at my lovely daughter-in-law showing off in the kitchen. He's traveling these succulent morsels. Ooh, my goodness. Tastes like nasty feet.
How much can the Bahamas cut its billion-dollar food import bill? What are we really producing to feed ourselves? What are the challenges facing food production in our country? How can you contribute to reducing our food import bill? Find the answers to these questions and much more. Watch Agriculture Now with Carla Palmer, Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m. on the ZNS Television Network.
Food. It is as essential as air is to breathe and water is to drink. Food is life. But where does our food come from? The Bahamas has more than 2,000 farmers, but it's hardly enough to keep up with our growing population. Or is it? We traveled the nation to find out the answers to the questions everyone is asking. Can we feed ourselves?
What you see and hear on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The Code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcast by this station. The Code is available on the IRCA website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the Code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 1-242-300-8722, or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
1540 AM, 104.5 FM plays all the Bahamian hits. All the hits, one station. The Bahamas is moving to the music. Music that makes you feel good.
The scent of your skin is intoxicating.
Home of the #1 Bahamian music beat, 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, the People Station.
I lived in fear for my life. I lived in fear for my children. I lived in fear of how I'd provide for them. I thought that he would change when he promised he would, and I forgave him every time he said that he was sorry. I became devalued as a human being until one day I ceased to exist as one.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, the tropics remain quiet today, and we anticipate that it will remain quiet at least for the next 5 days or so, and that's as a result of this strong upper-level winds we've been talking about for the past couple of days, and also that Sahara dust that's being advected towards the west. And then on the home front, we have that lingering trough across the extreme northwest Bahamas, which continues to keep the air a bit unstable over Abaco, Grand Bahama, and portions of the Berry Islands as well. So they will be experiencing some showers and thunderstorms tonight and right into tomorrow. Elsewhere, high pressure remains in control of our weather. So over most of the lower portion of the northwest Bahamas, the central Bahamas, you can look for just a few clouds floating around. And then we have some more activity in the extreme southeast Bahamas as well, including the Turks and Caicos Islands. So you'll find around the showers and thunderstorms in that part of the archipelago as well. Tonight, we're going in for partly cloudy and warm conditions for here in the capital, with our low temperature getting down to 76 degrees. And tomorrow, mostly sunny and hot, but there could be a brief morning shower with your high temperature getting up to 89 degrees. The extended weather forecast, a couple of showers working their way into our forecast right into Thursday, drying out once again on the weekend. So we are promising you another beautiful weekend weather-wise. So once again, as usual, go ahead and make those outdoor plans.
Sounds good, Basil. That does it for us in the Bahamas tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, thanks so much for looking in. Have a good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People Station.
This episode of A Familiar Walk has been brought to you by J.S. Johnson, Commonwealth Bank, Sun Oil Limited, the Dalbinas Agency Limited, Battery and Tire, Royal Star Assurance. Thank you for your continued support.
We're delighted to have with us Mr. Charles Johnson of J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers on our program. J.S. Johnson is our proud signature sponsor, and we say a special thank you to Mr. Johnson for being on our program to introduce our wonderful panel today, and a special thank you as well to Ms. Stephanie Hanna, who has really went beyond to assist us in making sure that this program goes into every home every year. Thank you to J.S. Johnson, and Mr. Johnson, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Neary, and it's a pleasure for J.S. Johnson to host this show and also to be one of the major sponsor, I think now for the third year.
Yes, sir.
So it's certainly a pleasure for us. I'm really happy that we have the opportunity to once again participate in the show and to talk about hurricane preparedness 2018. As you know, J.S. Johnson is the oldest insurance agents and brokers in the Bahamas. And next year we're going to be celebrating 100th anniversary. So, you know, we are so pleased to be able to continue to contribute to the Bahamian society in this way, and assisting and helping them to prepare.